So I thought I'd do something different today and kind of show you guys behind the scenes as far as what I do in putting my YouTube videos together, show you a little bit about my equipment, and maybe if you're interested in doing it yourself, you can take some tips from there. And also just kind of show you a little bit about the fish room. I'm selling some fish, so I thought I would kind of talk about that a little bit as well. Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Zenzo with Tazawa Tanks. So before I talk about behind the scenes and talking about selling fish, I want to talk about this shirt. So as you can see, this is an Aquarium Co-op t-shirt, but this is the Aquatic Experience 2017 edition. The reason why I'm wearing it now for this video is the Aquatic Experience for 2018 is coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you're watching this video in early October, I think is when this video will come out, then you'll know that the Aquatic Experience is coming up the third weekend of October. So weekend of the 20th, 19th or 20th, right around there. So I'm flying out to New Jersey. It's in Secaucus, New Jersey, which is kind of near Newark and New York City, kind of right there on the border in northern Jersey. So it's at the Meadowlands Convention Center. I'll put description of that event down below in the description. Some details about that event down in the description. But if you guys are anywhere near New Jersey, if you're within 3 or 4 or 5 hours driving distance, come on up. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of YouTubers there. Obviously, Corey's going to be there from Aquarium Co-op. Jimmy, of course, Corbus Oskin will be there. Bob from Steamfod Aquatics. Let's see, Flip Aquatics will be there. Aqua Pros will be there. IFG will be there. John Hudson's going to be there. He's back in the scene. Ray from Ray's Aquarium is going to be there. I know that JH Aquatics is going to be there. So there's a lot of people there that are going to be there. I apologize if I forgot anyone. But if you have a favorite YouTuber and they're based here in the U.S., most likely they will be at the Aquatic Experience. So definitely come by and check it out. If you see me, please do not hesitate to grab me, stop me, shake my hand, say hello. If you want to arm wrestle or whatever, do some push-ups, we can do that. But make sure to say hi. So before I show you some of the stuff that I do as far as YouTube is concerned, equipment and things like that, I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about fish, since this is a fish channel. So before we get into the camera stuff and all that stuff, the computer and all that, we'll talk a little bit about fish. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to support my local fish stores. And what I mean by local fish store is the mom and pop stores, not necessarily the larger chain stores, but more of those single owner stores where I can walk in, say hello to the owners, they know me by name, and talk to them about a whole bunch of different stuff. So I stopped by one of the stores a couple days ago, and stopped by, they're actually right down the street from my cleaners where I had one of my suits and some shirts cleaned, and stopped by, picked up some fish food, because with all these fish down here, there's a lot of food that I go through, so I don't always get free food. I've got to buy my food as well. So I stopped by and got some fish food and talked to the owner, asked him if he needed any African cichlids, because I'm breeding a lot of them. And he said, yeah, what do you got? You know, I showed him some pictures, and he said, yeah, why don't you bring me some of these, some of those. Then he sent me a text message later on and said, I'm going to change my order. I want more. So ultimately, I'm going to bring him 70 fish tomorrow. So 70 fish may not seem like a lot if you are, you know, used to larger breeders and wholesalers and things like that. But for a small fish room like myself and just kind of a one-man operation, it's quite a bit. So I had to prepare for that. I've got to bring them tomorrow morning around 11 in the morning, but I can't, you know, do that all in the morning because I've got some other stuff to do. So I had to do some preparation today. So I had to do some water changes anyway down here in the fish room, and I needed to move the fish around to separate the fish that I know I'm going to bring him tomorrow so that they're really easy to catch. So with having to catch so many fish, I obviously had to do some water changes. Down here, these are all a bunch of male peacocks that I pulled out for him. So he said he wanted 70 fish, 40 of those being peacocks, Alanacara. So as you can see here, these are all colored up, and he told me specifically what he wanted as far as colors are concerned. So there are 40 peacocks down here in this tank. Now you might think 40 fish that are, you know, this large, 2.5, 3 inches, is quite a bit for a 40 breeder, and that answer is yes, but they're only going to be there for one day. Because right now it's like 5 p.m. on a Friday night, and they're going to be shipped off tomorrow around 11. So that's pretty easy, and they're not being fed, so you know, there's not really any risk of having any biological issues as far as water's concerned. Let's say hey to Oscar. This is the 90-gallon acrylic tank. This is Oscar and the catfish tank, and I've got the Congo tetras there, and I've got my little rescue Africans over there. Those are the ones that I didn't have the heart to cull. They're a little deformed, so I can't sell them. But they're healthy, they eat, so I didn't want to kill them, so I put them in there. Now we're over at the Mbunas, and he also wanted 30 Mbuna, so I picked 30 of the largest Mbuna, and we'll kind of zoom in here so you can see. Hopefully they focus, but kind of hard when fish are swimming around. But anyway, here's a bunch of Mbuna that I am going to bring him tomorrow. There's about 15 or so in here and about 15 in there, give or take a couple. I just counted 30. I actually counted 31. I always like to give a couple extra fish. So in fact, with the peacocks, I think I've got 41 or so in there as well. But anyway, they're all here. So all of these are going to be sold tomorrow. And so there's 30 Mbuna that are going to be sold, as well as the 40 plus peacocks. As far as the breeding program is concerned, you know, I will put some of my males. Here's some good males here. But I'll put my males with my females, and I'll kind of pick which ones I want. And then obviously I get fry when the females hold. So here you can see down there, there's a bunch of baby peacocks that were spit out not too long ago. They were spit out about 10 days or so ago, right around there. And then I've got peacocks in different stages of growth all over here. And let's see, where else? I've got more down here, more over there. Not these. These are my shell dwellers. Those are some of my favorites to sell. I've got some more Mbuna over here, and then I've got 2 tanks that I just emptied out that are going to have more fish going in there soon. So now we're done with the fish room. I just wanted to show you just kind of behind the scenes as far as what it takes as far as selecting fish. What I didn't show, and I didn't film it obviously, is that it took a long time to do my water changes obviously, which takes me, depends on how many tanks I'm doing, but I usually spend about 45 minutes to an hour at a time, and I'll do that, I'll split that up between tanks. So overall it takes me maybe 90 minutes to close, sometimes 2 hours to do water changes for all these tanks, depending on what I'm doing and how much I'm doing. But if I break it up into sections, that only takes me 45 minutes or an hour or so. But anyway, I had to drain a bunch of tanks, move fish around, catch fish. Some fish are easier to catch than others. The peacocks are easier, the Mbuna more difficult. But anyway, that was done, and I got wet and, you know, made a mess as always, but cleaned up. And now I'm going to show you upstairs. So up until very recently, I was filming with something that most of you probably have in your hands right now, and you're probably watching this video on it, or it's in your pocket or your backpack or whatever, and that is a cell phone. So I was using my iPhone 8 Plus. Well, going way back in old videos from a couple years ago, I was using an iPhone 6S, and then I upgraded to the 8 Plus, and I used some Alo clip lenses back then. Now I'm using the Moment lenses. So this is a lens that you may have seen either Corey talk about it on his channel, or Jimmy, Swisky Vision. So maybe he might have talked about this in one of their videos. But this is a very nice lens that attaches to your case of your phone, so you have to buy a special case. And this is the Moment case with the Moment lens. The only thing I don't like about this system, and it works really well, and I'm really happy with most of it, and that's been the case. I'm actually about to be on my 3rd case. So this is my 2nd case, but it's kind of damaged where the lens attaches. So the lens, you basically line up the lines right here. Maybe see if we can get that in focus. We'll line up the lines on the case and on the lens, and then you give it a 1/4 turn and it snaps in. The problem is on the case itself, this is all really heavy duty equipment. These are heavy too. So this is metal frame and heavy duty glass. The case is like any phone case, but the part where it flips and clicks in is plastic. So what I've noticed is the plastic is a little brittle, and it's broken on me before. Now, I did reach out to Moment, and they actually saw the Real Fish Talk or the Aquarium Co-op video where I was talking with Corey and talking about kind of how I film. I'll put a link of that video down below because that's really cool too. But they saw that video and thought that was cool as well. So they sent me a new case for free. And that was back in late July is when I got the new case. We're now at the end of September and it cracked again. So I was really careful with it. I don't know how it cracked. The only thing I can think of is if you put it comes with lens caps like this. So if you put the lens on and then go to remove the cap, you might be putting some extra stress on that plastic. So I don't know why it happened. I didn't want to reach out to them again and ask for another free case, so I just went and bought a case. They're like 30 bucks, so I got a different design this time. So anyway, but other than that, it's a really good way of filming. There's wide-angle lenses. There are telephoto lenses, so this wide angle is 18 millimeters. It's really wide. The telephoto is brings in images from far away. It's telescopic, right? There are macro lenses, so they do really well with kind of photos. If you want to take pictures of fish really close or things like that, flowers, insects, that works really well. So I kind of have the whole kit. And the only other thing that's missing is my Rode microphone, which is a Rode Video Micro, which is on the camera that I'm filming on right now, so I can't take it off to show you what it looks like because then you won't hear me very well. So anyway, this is how I was filming for a long time. I've used different tripods. This is my little Manfrotto tripod that I have, but I've got some taller tripods, etc. And the other thing that I was using is I was using an app called Filmic Pro, which is a lot different than the iOS camera app that's on your phone, or if you're using Android, it's a lot different than that. It does a lot more, so it gives you so much more capability, and it's not a very expensive app. It does cost some money, but once you get that, it does make quite a difference. So now I'll flip things around. I'll film with this phone and show you what my new camera looks like. So this is a new camera. This is the Canon EOS M50. It is a mirrorless camera. I'm really excited about it. I picked it up just about a week ago, I guess. And it's got cool features. It's got the shoe for your microphone. It's got the flip out screen, so it's great for vlogging. And it comes with the kit lens, which is 15-45. I do know I'll need a couple more lenses. I've got the GorillaPod for it, obviously, but it is a great little camera. The reason why I picked this is from Jimmy. So Swisky, Jimmy, he gave me a lot of advice. We exchanged a lot of messages back and forth, and he shared with me that this is a good platform for me and what I do. Obviously, he knows his cameras really well. I will put a link to his channel down below so that you can see some of his videos. Obviously, he has a lot of fish-related videos, but he does do stuff regarding tech and cameras and things like that as well. So that might be kind of fun to watch. So anyway, moving forward, I will be using this system for probably, I don't know, 80 to 90% of my videos. I still will use my phone for a couple of things. One, it's waterproof, so I will use it underwater if I decide to do any underwater footage, like when I stick it in the aquaponics pond as an example. The other thing I would use it for is any live stream if I ever decided to do live streams, and also to connect to my gimbal if I'm doing a lot of movement. That might be another application where I would use it. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool to share with you guys kind of what I was filming with and what I am filming with moving forward. So if you were wondering what kind of software I am using to edit videos, I am using free software. Of course, I would love to have, you know, things like Final Cut Pro and some of the other great tools out there that are available, but some of those are really expensive, and me being a smaller YouTuber, I just didn't see the necessity of having some of that expensive software to edit the videos. Maybe at a later date when I become more sophisticated and have a larger channel, I probably will migrate to something like that. But as of now, I'm using iMovie. I think that it's great. Hopefully you guys like it too, but it is really easy to use. It's free if you have an iOS device, obviously. So this is my MacBook Pro. I purchased this recently as well. specifically for YouTube. So this is my personal computer. I've got other laptops for work, etc. There's another personal PC laptop over there. But anyway, this MacBook was purchased for the purpose of editing video using iMovie. The reason why is I used to use iMovie on my phone. So the phone has iMovie as well. And but that's a different type of iMovie. It's the iOS system versus the Mac, the Sierra system, whatever. So it doesn't have all of the functions and capabilities that this does. As I'm getting pop-up messages here, but anyway, so this is a great way to edit video without you know, having a bunch of expensive equipment and expensive software. Here you can see this is kind of what it looks like when you're doing some editing. This is some voiceover stuff, and you can layer, which is great. So anyway, it's a really great way of editing video, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Really easy to use. There's a lot of videos out there that can kind of take you through and show you how to use it. And if you do have an iPhone or you know, something else, you can use that system as well. Like iMovie on the iPhone is really easy to use. It doesn't have all the functionalities that this one does, but it does about 75% of it, and it's free, of course, as well. Now let's look in the gear bag. I did get myself a backpack. I ended up getting the Canon backpack. There were a lot of really cool camera bags available. I didn't want a sling bag. I wanted something with dual straps, like a real backpack. And I wanted something that fit all my stuff. I brought all my equipment with me to the store to try out everything. This was the only bag that they had that fit all my stuff. So, so in this pocket, this is where I keep like my GorillaPod, my other smaller tripods, some of my cell phone mounts, and I also use these for lighting. This is a little bag that I keep other camera stuff in. Here are my batteries. I've got some additional lights, some LED lights. And here's where the camera goes. Here's room for additional lenses as I get those. These are my moment lenses. So these are all the lenses that I spoke about earlier. My microphone fits here, and some other stuff. I've got another lavalier mic here. This is the lavalier mic that you clip to your shirt. But I want to show you this thing. So I'm going to put the phone down and show you what, I'm not the phone, I'm using my camera, and I'm used to saying phone. I'm going to put my camera down, I'm going to connect this to my phone, and you can see what this does. So this is the gimbal. This is the Zhiyun Smooth Q. Zhiyun, also known as June, or any other way that you want to pronounce it. I do not speak Mandarin. I believe it's Mandarin. So I do not speak Mandarin, so I do not know the exact way to pronounce this. I want to say it's Zhiyun or June, but anyway, it's a gimbal, and here you can see it. This is a Smooth Q, and this one is designed for cell phones. So it's designed for cell phones or GoPros, anything small like that. They do have other larger ones that you can use for cameras that are heavier duty with bigger motors. But this is a stabilization device that you can use by connecting your phone to it and walking around and having movement and not having anything kind of bounce up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this up and show you what it looks like. So here it is. Here is the gimbal connected to the cell phone. So what will happen is if you're moving around, if you're doing any filming like this with your phone or your GoPro, or if you had a larger one of these connected to your camera, it keeps it level and stable. There are a lot of other functions. I'm not going to go through it all right now. There's a mode where you can click it around and it'll do like a selfie mode like that as an example. So that was pretty cool. It worked when I clicked it, and then I clicked the buttons back and it'll go back to the way it was. So anyway, it works really cool. So anytime you've seen me in the past where I was walking around the Aquatic Experience last year, I walked around the entire floor using this. I'm going to bring this back with me again this year, so I might do the same thing. And it really does allow you to move around and keep the image stable. So let me flip this around here and show you guys. So hopefully you can see me. You know, I'm moving this back and forth and all around, and the camera is staying pretty level. It's staying as it should be. And then you can also use the buttons down below to do manipulate it, etc. But it's for a really inexpensive device that you guys can use. That you can use with a GoPro or a cell phone, and it's a pretty cool rig. One pro tip that I will give you And that is if you are using a larger phone, like some of the Samsung phones are really large, the Apple iPhone 8 Plus and the 7 Plus, and now they also have the which just came out like a couple of weeks ago, the new XS Max or something like that, the big one. They're big phones, and so it might be a little bit too large or too heavy for the gimbal, but one thing that you can do is you can put a little magnet, get those little flat magnets that you get from the cell phone mounts for like a car, where you can stick something, you know, onto your car that has a magnet on it and you stick it on there. So that's exactly what I did with this. I'm going to turn this off here just so I can show you. So in behind the phone case, I've got that really thin magnet. It's just between the case and the phone itself, like you would use to attach your phone to your dashboard. And then I just took that little dashboard thing. This is a little whiz gear that attaches to like your vents on your car, and then you just stick it on the magnet and your phone stays there. But this magnet weighs just enough that when I position it in the bottom corner, it stays level and it keeps the motor from having to work harder. So right now I have it off. Because you want to set it kind of at a neutral position before you turn it on. I'll turn it on here and it'll kick on. There we go. So just like that. Another pro tip that I have for you is if you end up using the Moment lenses, and I talked about the Moment lens earlier, and they are heavy. I don't know what the weight is, but when I say they're heavy, they are heavy. This is quite a bit of weight. So if you put this weight on here, it's going to tax out the motor and it's not going to be able to stay upright. However, with a very simple hack, you just get a bunch of washers, so metal washers. Let's see if that focuses. It's focusing on me, but I think you can see there's a bunch of metal washers there, and a bolt, and just a bolt, and I bolted a bunch of washers on there with a wing nut, and I put some heavy-duty Velcro on the end, and then I've got the opposite Velcro right here on the end of my gimbal. So if I did want to, I'm going to turn it off just so I don't mess up the motor. If I did have the lens on here heavy, then I can take this and put it on there, and then it will counterbalance. So actually I'll do that right now. I'll put this lens on, and again, the lens is very heavy. I should have taken the cover off first because of that whole cracked thing, but anyway. So here, now I've got my lens on, which is quite heavy, and I've got the counterbalance on, and I also have my little magnet down here. So anyway, just a cool little hack to almost make you like a little filmmaker, and it's a great way to use some equipment and film while you're on the go. I do have a little bonus footage for you here. I was working a couple weeks ago on my laptops and took a little video of me watching a live stream on Aquarium Co-op, and also I think I did an unboxing on my camera or something, so I'll throw that in here right now. So if you do want to see a little bit more behind the scenes, you can check out these clips. So as you guys know, I travel a lot for work. I'm actually in a hotel right now. For those of you that may not follow me all the time, I do travel probably about 3 weeks a month. So I'm always in a hotel somewhere, traveling around the US. So anyway, just kind of a glimpse behind what it's like being a fish YouTuber. I'm actually working on one laptop, working on my channel. And I'm also listening and playing around on the live chat with Aquarium Co-op. So, this is the Real Fish Talk. But anyway, it's cool to listen, and it's fun to chat with some of you guys and interact on someone else's live stream. And then I also get a chance to do some work myself. So anyway, just thought I'd just kind of give you guys a quick little glimpse into some of the behind the scenes, non-fish stuff, but still fish channel related. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about fish and my fish room and things like that, hit that subscription button down below as well. Also, I would love to hear your comments, so please write down below in the comment section as far as kind of what you like to do with your channel, if you do have a YouTube channel, or if you like taking pictures of fish, or or if there's anything that you would like for me to share with you guys in the future. That's all I had for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys at the Aquatic Experience. Catch you on the next one. So, as you guys can see, this is the 2017 Aquatic Experience.